First tonight, tension and harassment at a Clearwater abortion clinic. That is body camera video right there, showing just one day of demonstrations outside the clinic, calling for patients not to get abortions. And this is Nightside. I'm Dave Wagner.
And I'm Carolina Lee. The demonstration has clinic volunteers concerned tonight, calling the situation a tinderbox ready to be ignited.
As 10 Tampa Bay's Han Deneen explains tonight, the problem has become so bad, it's caught the attention of city leaders.
Here at Bread and Roses Women's Health Care Center, like many clinics that provide abortions, protesters have been a constant for years. But since last summer, tensions have escalated.
Wicked, disgusting center.
Now it is outright harassment. It is outright intimidation.
When the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last June, there was a shift.
There's this new addition, this faction of hardcore extremists who are screaming at the tops of their lungs.
Amy Weintraub is the Reproductive Rights Program Director at Progress, Florida, who works hand in hand with clinics like Bread and Roses.
It is difficult to operate any type of healthcare service when there are people who are set on harassing the patients.
In recent months, volunteers have gone before Clearwater City Council demanding action.
The situation is a tinderbox ready to be ignited.
You're gonna die and go straight to hell.
According to Clearwater Police, the clinic has been paying about $13,000 a year for off-duty officers to help keep the peace on Saturdays.
Bread and Roses has had to expend precious funds to hire off-duty Clearwater police officers for on-site security. We as escorts feel this is absolutely necessary.
Now, Clearwater City Council is taking steps to alleviate some tension.
We're coming up with an ordinance that is going to address some of the sound issues and also create a buffer zone.
If the ordinance passes, protesters will have to stay at least 5 feet from the driveway.
Giving them a buffer zone where there will be a clearly marked line that the protesters have to stay behind will make it easier for the police when they're called to the scene.
Councilmember Bunker says the council will be careful not to limit anyone's right to protest.
No one's trying to take that away from them. We're just trying to add a little more safety.
Clearwater City Council is set to workshop this ordinance at the end of the month, with the vote set for Thursday, March 2nd.
Canada state lawmakers have tried to enact their own legislation to put restrictions on demonstrators in the past. Had it been in effect right now, could it have changed things in this case?
Yeah, it doesn't appear it would have made a difference in this case. Clearwater Police Chief Slaughter says what's happening here would not be classified as a riot, which is what that law protects against. The chief says that this ordinance would be aimed at not curbing the protest activity, but again, creating that buffer space, that 5 feet from the driveway, which you can see someone has already proactively mapped out here. We will, of course, be keeping our eyes on this ordinance. In Clearwater, Hannah Deneen, 10 Tampa Bay.